Hey, one more thing before you go. Are you as frustrated as we are in the fact that your favorite streaming or television program got canceled and it really shouldn't have been? Would you believe that there have been over 122 programs canceled just in 2022 alone, and another 30 at the beginning of this year, in 2023 throughout the first part of the year? We're going to share our frustrations as well as what we can expect for 2023 in television streaming. Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go Over the Teacup Sunday with Michael and Diane. I'm your host, Michael Hurst, and I'm here with my lovely co host and wife, Diane.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, as we said in the past, we absolutely love our television, probably a little more than we really should, huh, Diane?
Yeah, it's not a real great habit.
As an adult, we probably should have better or a wider variety of hobbies other than TV and film. But hey, we love it anyway, right?
Yep, that's what we do.
Unfortunately, there is not enough time in the day or the week or the month for us to get through everything we really need to get through.
Yes, I have so many shows that I'm only partway through that I can't, I've lost count.
Well, and it's hard because you kind of go to, well, do I want to finish this one or do I want to finish that one? Or should I start this new one that we haven't seen yet because they're most than likely going to cancel that thing before we really get into it?
Yeah, that I think the big thing is, I can think of one show right now we're way behind on, like two and a half, three seasons behind on, and I'm scared every time that they're gonna just cancel it, and then I'm gonna be like, well, I don't want to watch it now. Like,
Yeah. I'm not even going to put that out there because I don't want to give them the
I know,
idea.
you know what show I'm talking
But it always frustrates us when we end up losing a program that we love so much. And it seems like it only happens like when they change management, upper management, executive management, or the director of development, or the person in charge of programming. They come in and they go, well, I never really liked this, so I'm going to get rid of it. No matter what the fans say,
about. Right.
I don't like it, so I'm going to get rid of it, kind of a thing. And we've noticed that with a nanny number of programs, which we're going to talk about here. I've got a really huge list we're going to go through. So we're going to run through some of our favorites that have been canceled, and we're not going to talk about every one of them. We will talk about our the ones that we really miss or are upset that have been canceled. And there are seven of them that actually have a fan page and a fan base that are trying to reverse that stupid choice of canceling something we love. We were part of Magnum actually getting that back
Brought
on the
back.
air,
Mhm.
basically, yeah, and possibly a couple others. But realistically, I know that we've jumped in or tried to jump in on some of the other ones that were out there that they unexpectedly failed because of the amount of support that was there. But apparently, the people at the top weren't listening to us. So I know that this list is going to go really fast. I'm going to talk about it here in a minute here. So once I run the list, you can either see it here on this YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/@ one more thing before you go. That's www.youtube.com/the at sign one more thing before you go. And that'll take you right directly to our channel. You can watch it there. And I'll make sure that there's a link to our blog post where I also will have a list of everything that's been canceled to see if yours is on that list. So, in the meantime, welcome to the show. And let's get started. Diane, what do you think?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So, obviously, this list is going to go very quickly. So, some of these on here we will be able to see, some of them we will not be able to see. I know that the stuff like the CW, there's some shows that you watch, Diane, or that I watch and you don't.
Yeah,
ABC.
I watch anything on the CW actually.
No, actually, I guess you don't, do you? I mean, you've
Oh,
watched Legends of Tomorrow with me for a few times, but
yeah.
um,
That's
the,
not on, was it?
no, it's not on anymore. And believe and a lot of these things are on Netflix, which we have
Right.
absolutely watched Netflix, Peacock, Prime Video.
Wait a
The
minute. Did I just see Resident Alien?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. They haven't really canceled that, but what they've done is they've basically cut the season short. So before where they were going to get 22 episodes, they're not
Yeah.
getting 22 episodes anymore. They cut it down to like 11 episodes. And let me tell you, that's a very, very popular program.
How did you not tell me this?
I just found this out during my research.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it really kind of, it was like,
No.
damn it. I could say damn it on here, right?
Yes. So, oh my God. Okay. So we need to get a change.org petition going right now for resident.
Well, and it's interesting because yeah, people think that that doesn't work, but it has worked for a number of programming. It brought back Magnum. It brought back, I had a whole list of them up earlier, and I completely didn't put this list up. But we've brought back several programs that they were supposed to be canceled in the first place. The Flight Attendant was only supposed to be one season, and we, got them and prodded them enough to give them the second season. Then we were doing it again and pushing and prodding and so forth, and we thought we were going to get a third season, but they decided not to do that third season. And I don't know if it's because Kaylee Cuoco got pregnant, is going to have a baby, and really didn't want to kind of delve into that. But they didn't.
And let
Um,
we need to probably say it wasn't we as in you and I. We were a,
I say we as a fan base,
yeah, right.
we as a fan base have tried to do that. And the majority of these that we've ever gotten involved in, there were some that in the past that they're not on this list because it was from the year before. But one of our favorite shows, God Friended Me, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I signed on that petition to save that program. It was very highly rated. It was doing really well, and
Great.
just out of the blue, they canceled it. And my understanding, it was because the person that came in to take over said, "I really don't like this programming. It doesn't give the right message," and cut it, which
It
is
was a great show, and it was families could watch it together.
it was motivating. It was inspiring. It was
It's some
letting you think.
right.
You
Yeah.
know
And
about
it oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, but there's a bunch of shows that we're going to talk about real quick that obviously we know have um, been canceled now. Again, some of them do have the petitions to kind of try to reignite them, and then a few of them are actually in Netflix's top 10, which us fans, when I say us, that's not including you on these because I watch them,
Right.
but us fans that watch these particular shows that I'm going to talk about, they were in the top 10 all time shows on Netflix, and Netflix came in and canceled them. In fact, Netflix has canceled more shows than any other streaming or network programming out there. And that's all because new management.
That's crazy.
Yeah, new
It
man.
would target shows that are huge right now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
huge.
very, very much so. I mean, Warrior Nuns, for example, that is a top in the top 10. Legacies was in the top 10. And both of those, just off the top of my head, both of those have a huge fan base. I mean, huge on Twitter, on Instagram, on a demographic, and being in the top 10. And Netflix went, "Nope, see ya, we're out of here." And yeah, it just kind of really pissed everybody off just a wee bit.
Well, and I think the most insane one of that is the Warrior Nun thing. I don't watch it, but I know that you really like it, and it's just a huge. It's
Well,
got a
we
huge
there's a
following. I
large fan base that's very interactive, and everybody on there is pissed. And my understanding right now, they've got over 100,000 signatures and growing to save the programming. And from what I hear, Netflix is not listening. So everybody's still signing the petition. They're going to continue to sign the petition. They're going to continue to try to get it to save on the air. And again, reminding them that you're canceling something that the fans absolutely love, and
yeah.
so we'll see. But I got a list. I know it's Sunday. We want to make sure we don't cut into your daytime too long. I know that we keep doing these in the afternoon now, um, but it seems that Sunday mornings have gotten away with us. So thank you for your continued patronage to us. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being with us each and every Sunday and Wednesday here on One More Thing Before You Go. We appreciate each and every one of you that take the time to be part of our family and support us in all of those manners. Which reminds me, please make sure that you check out our YouTube channel, which I had said a little bit earlier. You look on YouTube, it's at Before You Go Podcast. We've got some amazing videos on there that will help you to hopefully motivate you, inspire you, educate you, and move you forward. Please subscribe and follow us on all the other platforms as well. We really would appreciate it. And we have a store, Before You Go Podcast.shop. Before We Go Podcast.shop, it will take you to where you can get some great merchandise to help support us and to help continue to allow us to bring you content that you guys can resonate and appreciate and love. So
Mm,
now we'll
yep.
move on. What do you think?
Yep.
So let's start with ABC. ABC, believe it or not, they really haven't canceled anything that we really love.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, they've only canceled like 3 shows, and I'll be honest with you, forgive me for the fans of those 3 shows that are watching this. We don't watch the 3 shows that they canceled. In fact, the
I can't
3
believe
sh
they only canceled three. Shock.
um, it's really kind of bizarre because, they've got some things that are working. I mean, they canceled Blackish, but Blackish wanted to end.
I think
So
that was a end.
that was
Yeah.
kind of a mutual thing. So
Right.
we really didn't watch. We watched Blackish in the first little bit that it was there, but really haven't really stayed with it for after the first couple of 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was a program called Pooch Perfect, which it was kind of an animated show. I think we watched a little bit of it. I can understand a little bit why they canceled it. Promised Land never
Was
got
it
to
was it an animated show? Pooch
the.
Perfect? It was the one where they had it was like a dog show type thing and they had judges or something.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, so obviously it was not of
The
interest to us, so I didn't get to watch that. Forgive me for any fans that are. Promised
the,
Land.
the animated one you're thinking of is on Fox and it is still on.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Promised Land. That that was promising. I know Nicole, our daughter, was watching it. I know she may or may not be disappointed in that, but I never really got into Promised Land. I didn't
I
think that.
don't even remember what it was about.
That's the one where the migrants inherited the vineyard,
Oh, right.
the
Okay.
Latino family, and I didn't get into it just because it just did not. I mean, obviously, when we go over this list, you'll understand our taste in
I think it was
regard to.
watched anyway.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I think it was up against something we watched.
Yeah, I think so too. Queens, which again, I don't know
That
what
was
that.
the one, Brandy and it was four ladies, African American ladies, who had been singers or something before in a group or something, and then it's been like 10 or 15 years, and they reunited and they were trying to get back on tour or something. Um, I don't even know if that's correct, 100% correct, but
I think you're
um,
right. That kind of sounds familiar. And then we did like Card Sharks. So I can't say they didn't cancel everything, but we did like Card Sharks. They canceled that.
oh, Hard Sharks. Oh,
Card
okay.
Sharks with
Yeah, yeah. Joel McHale.
yeah,
Uh,
one of your
I
Magic
love,
5.
I love, I love Joel McHale in anything.
Yeah, say
But
one of your Magic 5.
one of my Magic Five.
We have that list that we're allowed to have, the 5 that, if
Oh, yeah, he's probably in my Magic Five. Yeah, you could hashtag him on this.
you could hashtag him on this. I see. To twist your arm, right?
I love Joel McHale. Um,
Yeah,
the
he's
show,
come Joe
the
McHale's
show.
come a long way since he was on
Oh yeah, Talk Soup
huh?
on Talk Soup.
On Talk Soup, yeah. He's come a really long way since then. He's done some
Well, Community. I mean, you can't. Oh my God,
yeah,
that
you
show.
can.
If anybody has not watched Community, go binge it right now. Well, no.
Yes.
But
Um, AMC. I know you didn't watch the show. I did watch this show, and I can see why they canceled it. But at the same time, I thought they should have given it more than 2 seasons. Kevin can f himself. We're a family-friendly podcast, so I did not want to spell that out.
should not be so family friendly on some episodes, so we can really, if anybody ever heard one of our conversations off camera, they'd probably.
Diane talks like a sailor.
I do. I'm yeah. I'm basically a truck driver.
A truck
Um.
driver. We'll say truck driver. And I talk like a cop on night shift.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, Apple Plus, we will move on to Apple Plus. We watch the only one that on Apple Plus that has shown any kind of cancellation or ending at the moment is Servant. Servant or Servant? I'm not sure. I think I've heard people say Servant, and I've heard
Yeah.
other people say Servant. So,
We
um,
actually did watch. We are
yeah,
behind on.
we're
I
behind
like.
on it.
I liked it. It's a very bizarre show, and I did
Intriguing.
not realize that it was from M. Night Shyamalan, which then explained everything to me.
Yeah, that's all you had to do is say M Night Shyamalan. Oh yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh,
It
that now it makes sense of why it's like it is. But it's really good. I
It's a good. It's good. I think we're 2 seasons into it, and, I believe they've got 4 seasons, so, we just need to catch up on the 4 seasons so that they don't take it off the platform completely, which I don't think they would. They've still got a fan base on there, and not sure exactly why they canceled that, but, yeah, it's a pretty good show. If, you like, M. Night Shyamalan, you need to go watch that on Apple Plus.
it's very good.
Um, CBS kinda pissed us off just a little bit.
CBS.
They canceled Be Positive after 2 seasons. And Be Positive was really fun. It was enjoyable. The cast was really becoming integrated.
Yeah.
Love the premise, love the idea. Don't know why they canceled it. The fan base around it said the same thing.
Mhm.
We were all on Twitter and Instagram. I know you're not on Twitter that much or even Instagram that much, but the Twitter and Instagram families were all kind of like, "What the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?"
It.
Um,
I really really miss that show. I. They were just getting. They finally got the two main characters together,
they got rhythm.
and I thought, I could see where they could go into a whole new thing, with the two main characters
Yeah.
in a relationship finally,
Yeah.
and then they just cancel it.
And it just kind of sucky. So if you're listening, CBS, it sucks. Um, and United States of Al,
I was
after 2 seasons, United
yeah.
States of Al was a great
Oh,
program.
it was so good. It was so good. And
Yep.
I don't understand why they, I feel like I feel like for like a sitcom, 4 seasons, you might start thinking, okay, where's this going? Can there be any more storylines, worthwhile to explore after 4 seasons? I think that's fair. I think if they look at sitcoms after 4 seasons, sure. Look at it, study it, figure it out. 2 seasons,
Yeah. Yep.
and it's going well.
It's stupid. And then they canceled Magnum PI, which we all know because we helped with that, and some of you, I'm sure, helped with that are listening or watching, because we helped with the campaign about trying to get that saved, and it was saved, and it is being picked up. And I
It
think we said
starts in February.
starts in February. Peacock picked it up, right?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was.
Peacock picked it up. It's going to be on Peacock,
Yeah,
I think. So you do
so
need a subscription, unfortunately, for those of
yeah,
you that don't. But in reality, the Resident Alien we were just talking about is on Peacock, and they've actually got a lot of programming. So for $4 or $5 a month, you can really get some value out of all of this. But Magnum PI, they canceled it on. I'm sorry,
on CBS they
on
canceled it.
CBS. Yes, they canceled
And
on CBS, but they got through this fan campaign. They got picked back up again, and we tried that with Be Positive, but
it
um,
didn't.
United States of Allen didn't unfortunately didn't pull
Well,
through.
no, that's your loss on Magnum. I hope that
Yeah.
I hope
Well,
you regret that decision. So
I don't know. I mean, I know how that business works. Obviously, we well know how that works. We've seen it from the inside out, and I know some of these executives. They're from the older arena, but the fact is that they need to come in and listen to the fan base and understand who's listening and the demographic that's listening. and not just make a decision based on their own personal feeling that I don't like this. I don't think this fits into the moral or ethical aspects of what I believe in, and then turn around and cancel something. I think that's crap, and I think that you as an executive should have better responsibilities to your public and to your viewership than taking your own personal perspective on these. I think
You know,
that
it's interesting how it kind of parallels politics.
yeah, it kind of does, and that really kind of
We're
sucks from that
happening
perspective.
to the voters, and it parallels it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. You're not listening to the voters, and these. Well, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story with politics, as you know. That's a contention. It's like a we'll call it a tack in my shoe, especially
Yeah,
some aspects. So, yeah, because these people go, "Well, I'm doing this for my people. I'm doing this for my people." The hell you are. You're doing it for yourself. You have your own agenda, and
yeah.
some of these people that take over programming have their own agenda, and it just kind of sucks from that perspective. But let's move on because we don't want to take up everybody's time. CW. Now, there's a lot on CW that you don't watch, but I would like to talk just a minute about the ones that I do. Legends of Tomorrow. They had 7 seasons. They ended it with a cliffhanger on the 7th season, and CW decided to cancel it, even though they have a huge following. In fact, the fan base is still um, pushing to have it saved. The possibility exists that it might be. They're reconsidering here and at another network, which they asked that we don't put. There's a little note at the bottom of this article I was reading saying don't put that out there yet. So I won't say what the other network is, but the possibility exists that Legends of Tomorrow might be saved. It was fun. It was an adult fun. It was a
Hmm.
kid fun. It was a family show because, who wouldn't want time travelers, man? It's about time travelers saving the world and correcting the timeline. And, it was like cool. You watched a few episodes with me.
I was gonna say the few episodes I did see were enjoyable. It wasn't something I get so into, but I there's it's bad enough when they cancel a show after like 1 or 2 seasons and it didn't even get a chance. But when you end a season on a cliffhanger and then you cancel it, oh, there is like
They did
I'm
that with Las Vegas
yeah,
when we were
oh,
watching Las Vegas.
started with Las Vegas. How many years ago was that now?
Yeah, a number of years ago. And we're still mad.
Oh my, I'll never not be mad about that.
No. And then
Now,
you didn't watch this show, but I started to watch this show and it really kind of upset me that they did cancel. It's called The 4400. And they've got 1 season. And my understanding is somebody else might have picked it up to carry it on. I'm gonna have to research this, and I'll make sure it's in the show notes when we get done. But the 4400 is about 4400 people that just magically showed back up that had disappeared over the years, and basically it was those that had been abducted over a period of time, and all of a sudden they all got put back.
hmm,
So it was really intriguing, and it was kind of like, yeah, I want to know why and how,
hmm.
kind of a thing. And then they turn around and go. So same thing with Roswell, New Mexico. You and I were catching up on Roswell, New Mexico, and it was kind of was a follow up to the original Roswell, and it was about these kids that grew up that were hybrid aliens that woke up uh, in a cave, and they come out and interact with community as if they were normal kids, and they just start realizing that they're special, and that they literally came from another planet, and that they're hybrids, and a huge fan base. I mean, even your parents
Hmm.
a different generation from us. Your parents, older generation. I mean, we're kind of old, but they're really old. Um, they were watching it.
Good thing they don't watch our show.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, as you compare that to the kids that normally are the demographic for Roswell and Roswell, New Mexico,
Yeah.
you get a wide demographic of people that are interested in this and actually were dedicated to watching this from young all the way up to 80 years old. So I won't say
Yeah.
who is 80.
Not yet. Almost,
It's not me.
he's almost 80. Not quite. Um, yeah, and I think they also watched the 4400,
They
actually.
did. So
Yeah.
you're taking things that have a wide demographic, which is great. I mean, you have a wide demographic of individuals watching this. You really should um, reconsider.
Do they
Uh,
still consider the magic demographic to be 18 to 34? Is that still a thing?
it is, it is,
Because that's
but
stupid.
at the same time, with streaming and with certain programming, they should expand that.
They really
Um,
should.
yeah, not just go, well, it's not reaching enough in the 18 to 34, but then turn around and say, okay, well, how about the 35 to 50 or the 50
Yeah.
to 70 range and
Yeah.
see what's hitting there because maybe your demographic changed.
I mean, I haven't been 34 for 20 years. I was raised on television. I have been glued to the TV set since I can remember. I feel like I was born in front of the TV. And they need to change that demographic because I'm not alone. There's all kinds of people my age and older that have been watching TV for decades.
And you know what's really scary? You haven't been at 34 for 30 years, and I'm working
Oh,
on almost twice
I haven't been 34 for 20 years, honey.
20
Get the math.
years. 20
Don't make me.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been 34 for almost as long as I was 34.
Okay, what?
Well, because, well, you had 30, 34 and 34 is 68. I'm just short of that being,
Well, you're a few years short of that.
but I'm just still just short. I'm on the upper end of that, not the lower end of that. It's like, holy crap.
I mean, you're single digits away from that. So
Yeah.
put
Uh,
it that
and legacies. Oh, Charmed. Let me talk about Charmed. Charmed. They did a reboot on Charmed, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I really watched about a few episodes of it, but it was not for me. I'm a fan of the original Charmed, and we watched it religiously. The original Charmed, and Alyssa Milano and McGowan and I can't remember the other people's names now. We watch it religiously and see how fast all that goes away.
Piper, the actress that played Piper.
Yeah, if I knew it, I'd have said it. Oh, it's right there. I can picture her. Anyway, and the one that she's got cancer. She had a huge falling out with
Shannon Doherty.
spelling.
Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty. We watched Charmed, the original one, religiously.
Yeah.
This Charmed, never really didn't get into that much, but they canceled that. I watched it a couple times. Legacies, Legacies. Let me tell you something. Legacies is in the top. They're in the top 10. Legacies is top 10. The It really is unfortunate that they canceled Legacies. You can still watch it on Netflix. I think you still watch it on Netflix. Um, but still, they canceled Legacies, and they've got a fan base that is like Warrior Nun. I mean, it's huge. And the demographics on that is anywhere from 17 up to probably 60, 65 years old. It's got a wide range of demographic. And when they canceled it, it was all over Twitter, all over Instagram going, what the hell is your problem? Why did you cancel this? It's another one of those. And I don't think you've ever watched Legacies with me, but
I don't know about.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what it's about.
Basically, it's about a group of kids that is kind of coming from a follow up of the oh my gosh the the stories, the books and the movies with Twilight, with the werewolves and the vampires and the witches and the whole. It was kind of a follow up to that, where all of those people found a new home that they could, and a guy that ran it. It was so it was a like a school, and but it was cordoned off, and it was sealed with magic so that nobody could see it there, and it allowed these kids to be normal along with what they were: werewolves and vampires and witches and warlocks and
I,
demons and
I think they have a show like that now on Disney. Um, I can't remember. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's a show on Disney. very similar.
That would be, and they just stopped it too.
Did they really? Thought it was brand new.
Now, there was one I was watching. Um, really, I watched the
No,
whole thing.
I'm talking Disney Channel, not Disney
This is
Plus.
Disney Channel. Yeah,
Anyway, it had like kids going to high school and they were
yeah.
vampires,
There were
werewolves.
witches and
Right.
warlocks and fairies, and yeah, I
It
was
looked
watching
cute.
it.
I hadn't watched it, but it looked cute.
And you want to know something? I should have kept that on this list because I actually was a fan of that programming as well.
I can't
And
believe
that kind of
it.
sucks. I don't remember the name, but you know, it is Sunday. It is Sunday afternoon, and I really I haven't had any coffee because I started drinking Kona coffee again, as everybody knows. You know,
Yeah, you have
I'm in
a
the
cup of
fog.
yeah.
um, but yeah, those thing kind of sucks because Legacies. If you get a chance, you know, I think Legacies has also got a fan base trying to save it as well. You should go on and you know, kind of support it and go on and watch it, and at least support it from that perspective, so they can understand that there's more people watching it than needs to be. But anyway, let's move on to Fox. And both of these programs that we used to watch on Fox, we loved. We don't know why they canceled them. Fox has got their head up their butt too. The Big Leap
Yep.
was
Oh
only here for
my.
one season. It should have been
Oh,
more than one season.
I miss so
Um,
much. Yeah.
that was great, and it was about basically it was about a group of individuals that came in that had no experience whatsoever in dancing and singing and so forth, and the program was to to create the environment for them to learn that and create. Was it a play or a show?
It was actually a it was it the premise was it was a it was a reality show bringing all these people in and just doing a reality show of regular people.
Learning how to dance and sing and create a show. And Fox said, "Well, you know, I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
then
I don't know why, it was so good.
it was really good. It really
Really
was.
good.
In
Yeah.
fact, I know that people were talking about it afterwards, going, "What? Why the hell did you give it a second season?"
And of
Um,
course I think they also ended it on a kind of a cliffhanger.
they did actually, because
Mhm.
the one lady. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you go back and I'm sure it's going to be on. It'll be somewhere that you can watch it, either on Netflix or
The-
Hulu or somebody, whoever picks it up. Hulu maybe.
One of
Um,
those the episodes of that show, I don't think I have sobbed harder than in one of those
yeah,
episodes.
yeah, it was
Watching that
very touching. It was,
sobbing,
you got to we really got
crying.
to embrace the characters.
Mhm.
You know, get to feel for them. Same
Yeah.
thing with pivoting.
Oh, this made Nicole
Well,
crazy.
tell everybody
Yeah.
about pivoting.
Pivoting. Well, it was three friends, women friends who are probably in their 30s, I think, maybe 40s. I don't remember for sure. Um, and just, I think one of them had gone through a big breakup and um,
They
quit
lost their
her
best
job.
friend.
Huh?
They had lost their best friend.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The story was that they lost the fourth. There was a group of four women, and the one woman died from cancer,
Yeah.
and then it kind of goes from her death, and then, but
And
it
all
was
them
kind of a
trying
dra-
to, yeah, it was all them
it was
trying
a
to deal with it and manage it, and how they miss her so much, and then how the families still kind of interact, and some of the issues and the problems and the trying to get over. I mean, you know, if you watch even some of the trailers for it, you can see where they come down and they make a big picnic with some wine and a bunch of other stuff on top of this grave, and somebody else shows up and say, "What are you doing on my husband's grave?" And they're going, "Oh, sorry, sorry," and they're picking up their wine and their cheese and their crackers and going, "We're on the wrong one. We're supposed to be over here with our friend."
yeah. So it was definitely a dramedy. There was, but the humor that was in it was so I thought it was very clever and um I loved it. I just
Yeah,
loved it.
it was great. It was
Mhm.
great, man. It was great, and they canceled the damn thing
After one season.
after one season. Yeah.
That, that's okay. Don't cancel a show when you've had a cliffhanger. number one. Number two, give a show a chance.
Yeah, you should give it more than one season. Which brings us to Hulu and Maggie.
Oh, don't mention.
Now, if you guys look back through the list, you will see that our daughter, youngest daughter, and I did a special on Maggie, which was on Hulu. And Maggie was a psychic. It's all about Maggie being a psychic and trying to manage her personal life along with manage her career as a psychic, and how that overlap started kind of intertwining within itself. It was fantastic show.
Oh, good. It was
And
so good.
yeah,
Favorite shows, and it took them a long. It seemed like it took them a long time to make the decision of whether to keep it or cancel it. It seemed like it was going on
and
forever.
they were and the reason Nick and I did the episode on it was to help promote the fact that, hey, you need to, there's a lot of people that are watching the show. You need to continue it. And
Yeah.
they ended it on a cliffhanger too.
Yep.
It's like these people get in there and go, well, let's not give it an ending. Let's just leave it wide open. And we're going to shut it down anyway. And
Yeah.
NBC, there's a couple of shows we did watch. Well, actually, three shows that we did watch. One of them we could give or take. This Is Us. We didn't get a chance to watch This Is Us, but um, I wanted to catch up
Hmm.
on it and didn't have the opportunity to. Nicole, I think, watched This Is
Oh
Us.
yeah. Yeah.
Was
She
just
was fanatic
adamant
about it.
about it.
Yeah.
They canceled them. Ordinary Joe. It was kind of unique in such a fact that what it did was give three different projected outcomes of a guy's life. If he would have gone this direction, he'd have been a cop, and this was what would have happened. If he went this direction, he'd have been a fireman, and this is what happened. And then the third one, I don't
Rock
remember,
star.
a rock
Rock.
star. If you're a rock star, this is what your life would have been. So it was giving an overlap of, and I think it probably, personally, I mean, I was able to follow it. I think you were too. But personally, I
I,
think that,
I can usually follow stuff like that. I did find that one a little difficult. It
yeah,
it
it
was a little.
was. I think it was, and I think that's what was his downfall is that they were trying to cram too much into it. So they were switching, like sometimes in the same episode, in between the different lifetimes,
Hmm.
and that got a little confusing at times. So, I wish they would have given a better chance to iron out those little idiosyncrasies, those little things that could have changed and fixed it, maybe, but they didn't.
Nikki liked
Keenan, I'm sorry,
Nikki liked Nikki liked
Nikki liked it as
Ordinary.
well. Yeah. Um,
Now wait before you go on. This Is Us. I thought that was like kind of like they knew it was going to end there. Like I think it was
They
canceled.
did, and so I just say that these are shows that either were canceled and or ended a mutual decision to end. Because a lot of
And
these,
I think that's fine then. I think when it's a mutual I mean it they knew it was going to end here. I mean, whether the fans are happy or not about that, I
yeah,
think that's fair. I mean, you can't have every show on forever. I mean, there's got to be some shows that end.
yeah, there's a few
And,
that have ended that really I'm sad about.
well, yeah, obviously. And when they do it in a bad way, but when it's kind of already decided and in the future everyone involved knows it's going to end at this
Well,
point,
yeah, well, and that's
that's
what happened with the flight attendant. It was only
yeah,
supposed to be one. We talked him into season two, and then
right.
season two we tried to talk him into season three, but it was a mutual thing going. And Kaylee
Wait,
Cuoco wanted to move on with her life, and she got divorced, and she's with another individual, and they have a baby. On the way now. I don't think it's been born yet.
no.
Um,
I think I'm personally okay with that. I think the way that the show culminated was fine.
it ended with they gave it a good ending, so
Yeah,
it
they did.
could very well have continued. It it
But
it was that kind of an ending. It could have
yeah,
continued, but at the same time, we're satisfied with the ending.
exactly.
Um, Keenan, we gave Keenan a try. It had
Mhm.
two seasons. The first season, we know that the cast was trying to get their rhythm. By the second season, the rhythm was getting a little bit better, but I think they were running out of storyline
Yeah, yeah.
because you can only do
I
so much on that one.
I can't say that I wasn't all that upset about that one.
Now,
It was a
this
good
one,
show. It was a cute show, but
it's a good
I
show.
yeah, don't see how they could have gone much farther with it.
I will tell you this one we're both sad and upset about. They
Mm.
shouldn't have canceled this one. They should have given it more, and they give it 2 seasons. They should have allowed it to continue. Mr. Mayor.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Who did Mr. Mayor star?
Ted Danson.
Ted
I mean,
Danson.
come on, it's
It's
Ted
like,
Danson.
yes. I mean, the whole cast was brilliant.
It was
They
really
really worked together well. Kyla Kennedy was his daughter. She used to be in Speechless. She was a kid that we watched grow up in Speechless. She turned into a pretty decent actor and a good actor. I won't just say pretty decent. That's not really a way to describe somebody's ability or talent. Um, the Bobby Moynihan
Moynihan.
was in
Mm-hmm.
it, and
So,
I mean the whole yeah, who was the other woman that
uh, oh God,
blew me away because I never knew she was that tiny.
yeah. Oh God. Okay. She had a huge film career at one point, like
Yes.
uh
See how
I
soon we forget.
I can't believe that I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
Holly Hunter?
um,
I think it's Holly Hunter.
let's just look really quick. The magic
While you're looking,
of the
um,
digital age.
I thought, huh?
Magic of the digital age. Holly Hunter
Holly Hunter. Yep.
and Vella Lovell. Um, yeah, Bobby Moynihan, Kyla Kennedy. Uh, yeah, great group of
I'm
individuals.
okay. First of all, I thought for the very first season, it, they the cast worked well from the beginning, which is not
Yeah.
easy to. I think most shows they have to kind of get a rhythm and stuff, but Mr. Mayor from the beginning had that rhythm, and I probably credit Ted Danson with that because you're canceling Ted Danson,
Well, he's a
you
pro.
and it ended again on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's really stupid. I think that was a poor choice on their part, but that's just us.
I,
Netflix. Let's move on to Netflix. Grace and Frankie. I think you watched some of that. I know Nicole loves it.
I watched part of the first season. I liked it. I really did like it. I think I just ran out of time to watch it with everything else. God, it's cold in
Well,
here.
and
I can
I think
hear it.
part of
Sorry, I just had a spirit run through me.
hopefully that wasn't the spirit of one of the women on.
No, they're still here. They just made a movie. They're
Yeah,
fine. Fine.
but yeah,
Um,
it. I know that I wanted to see it. It looks really cute. It stars
it's
Jane Fonda and
Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin, and it looked really cute. And the fact that they're best friends and their husbands were best friends, and without making any spoilers, because you can see this in some of the trailers and so forth. Basically, their husbands, who were best friends, turns out they're gay, and they were in love with each other, so they left their wives and got together. And um, I'm trying to think who the husbands are brand name people, brand name.
You're having trouble today, aren't you?
I'm having trouble today.
Um, it was Sheen, one of
Hmm?
them. Martin Sheen, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, I think so. Um,
And I
you
know that
know, They it is it was the episode the one season that I started watching actually was very good, and it's one of those things again. There's so much on TV. There's so much on the streaming right now, and with everything going on in life, it's kind of hard to catch up on everything. So it's one of those things I was going to put on the back burner and catch up on, and hopefully they won't just take it off the platform.
I,
Um, how about The Crown?
oh, the Crown. Well, okay, so yes, I'm a huge Crown fan. I am. Um, okay, so I just watched the what was this, the fourth season that was just on,
I think so.
and they're going to do five.
I think so.
Okay. So I can see where it's gonna have to stop at some point because we're living it. Like it's where
It's
the point
present day. Moved it up to
at.
present day.
Right. It's kind of getting into present day, and it's this last season, it was still good. It was still good, but it wasn't my favorite. And I think it's because I remember so much of what they were showing.
Yeah.
And so I just like, yeah, I know that. I like the first season where it was like all history and stuff, stuff I didn't know about the monarchy, which I've always been a big fan of anyway. But there were things I didn't even know. Wow, that's cool. As it gets more
Well, it
into
was
present,
educational. So it was not enjoying. It was also educational.
yeah. And I love anything with history. So, um, but now it's not really history for me. So,
There you go.
you know,
Now, this show we're going to catch up on. We keep promising ourselves we're going to catch up on it, but Ozark. This is the last season for Ozark. They're ending this year.
we got to
Um,
start. We haven't even started it. I'm sorry, Jason Bateman.
yeah, we've
I
got to do it.
I do love you. Probably my magic five. Probably.
He might even be in my Magic Five. I don't know.
Okay. Any,
Ozark. So yeah, we need to catch up on Ozark, but this is their last season, and it has been nominated for a slew of stuff as well. And realistically, I I don't know if it's ran its course or what the decision was or whose decision that was to do that. I do know that Netflix is pissing off a lot of people because of all of these. The ones that we're talking about are only a small portion of what Netflix has canceled. They have canceled, I think there's 5 programs in what they have canceled that are in the top 10 on the platform, and they still come in and cancel them. And so, people aren't really happy with that.
that makes
Um,
sense.
they did Dead to Me, Space Force, which I don't know. I like Space Force.
I
It,
was not a I was
you,
not a
you,
fan.
you weren't a
I
fan.
I do love Steve Carell. I will watch anything with him in it, but I tried and I couldn't.
Well, originally, I think it was kind of
Yeah.
a spoof against you know who. I won't mention that person's name, but for creating the Space Force and stealing the logo from uh, Star Trek and stealing the uniforms from Battlestar Galactica
I
and
can't.
yeah,
I just can't. I can't. I don't know if that was part of why I couldn't get into it because that was in the back of my mind for the whole thing. It's like I can't even give it the credit. And it wasn't even they were farsing that and I still couldn't get into it.
yeah, and let me on the record when I say the logo was stolen and the uniform design was stolen, it was not by the creators or the producers or the anybody associated with the
But
television program Space Force. It was by another individual that I will not name because if I name that person, we'll be here for another hour as I list off everything I hate about that person. So we're going to leave that one alone. Stranger Things is
it
ending.
was it would suddenly turn into a not family friendly.
No, it wouldn't. Yes, no, it wouldn't. Stranger Things. I've started watching Stranger Things. I think I've watched two seasons of it, and then time got in the way. I liked what I watched. I thought it was pretty cool, but I think it's kind of run its course, and they agree that it's probably run its course. In fact, Wednesday, the television, the program Wednesday, starring Jenny Ortega, kind of overcame that spot. But it's still in the top 10. Stranger Things is still in the top 10, but they canceled Stranger Things. I think they
I
felt
didn't
it.
cancel it. Do you think it's just because the kid? I mean, I never watched it, but do you think that it's
Kids are
because the
now adults.
kids? Yeah. I mean, when the kids age out and it's a show about kids, what are you going to do?
Well, but it was a show about kids, yes, but it also was a show about adults. I mean, everybody was kind of involved in it. But yeah, it started out mostly from these kids, and yes, I do understand that they've kind of grown up now. The Midnight Club. I wanted to start watching that. It's on my list. I can't tell you much about it, so I can't
I've
really
never
talk about that.
heard.
The one that I'm really, really, really upset about, other than Legacies, is Warrior Nuns. There are a couple of different groups trying to save Warrior Nuns, and it's about a sect. I'm always been, as you know, I've always been fascinated by this. And those of you that listen to the podcast on the normal Wednesday days, you know that we really talk about life and death and the other side and spirits and witches and paranormal and supernatural. Warrior Nuns is about a group of individuals, nuns, who carry on a tradition of protecting a certain sect and a certain portion of religious artifacts that they don't want to fall into the wrong hands. And these nuns know kung fu, and these are kung fu nuns, Diane. Kung fu nuns. What more could you want?
What more could you want?
Kung fu
I
nuns.
haven't
And
watched it. I know you love it.
exactly. And I'm not the only one.
Mm.
Uproar come on the Twitterverse and Instagram verse. It uproar came, and like I say, over 100,000 have already signed a petition. They're going after Netflix for canceling this, which was in the top 10. One of the ones in the top 10, number of like three or four in the top 10. Netflix, if you're listening, I want to emphasize that, which shows you how popular it is with us. You need to get off your butt, take your head out of your butt, and reevaluate which shows you've canceled and put the right ones back on. Do it now.
You have spoken.
I have spoken. Paramount Plus, Star Trek Picard is in its third season. It will be its last after that third season. You know, some of it I do understand. I know you haven't, I don't think you've watched any of Picard with me, have you?
No, mm-mm.
It,
But
you know,
never really been into Star Trek or
as a
whatever
Star Trek fan from the beginning, I mean, literal beginning,
from the
um,
60s.
yeah, from the 60s, I really was valuing um, the fact that they did another show to kind of carry on Picard's legacy, so to speak. And I understand that he's, you know, Patrick Stewart is, I think he's almost 90 or maybe
Is he?
90. Alexa, how old is Patrick Stewart? He's 82 years old. Um, you know, 82. He's been doing Picard for a really long time.
He might
And
be getting
hmm?
he might be getting tired.
Well, I think that, and yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. But in this particular case, they did give it a third season, which we're very happy about. Those of us that are here, but after that, it's going to be done, which kind of sucks. They've got some other things like Star Trek Origins and Star Trek New World and things like that that don't really take its place, but continue the tradition. So from that perspective, I guess I'll be happy with that, for
I
now. But
think in 30, 40, 50 years, there's it just seems like they do another Star Trek offshoot. How many Star Trek offshoots have there been?
there's quite a few
Lord.
actually. And I mean, and
Yeah.
realistically, when you look, they go over different centuries. So
Mm.
theoretically, it's okay because they're doing different, literally different centuries
Millenniums, really.
and millenniums. Yeah. So it goes over several hundred years, these shows. So I guess from that perspective, it's kind of okay that they continue to do that. Um, I know we're running long on time. How about Peacock with Resident Alien? As I said earlier, it didn't get canceled, but it did get shortened, which unfortunately I think is going to hopefully it won't be a prelude to what we don't want to happen. But Resident Alien is a brilliant program about
Yes.
an alien that crash lands on Earth and basically assimilates himself into society up in a small town in Colorado up in the mountains, and
Mhm.
loves the cold because his planet is ice cold anyway, and he fits right in there. And he assumes the identity of an individual in the area. And we've done an episode on this as well. You should go back and listen to it and watch it if you get the chance. And yeah, we love Resident Alien, so you should not have shortened episodes. Damn it!
I I don't understand. I I don't understand why. I mean, okay, that is one show I literally can binge. I think last season we didn't go to bed until like 1 or 2 in the morning because we could not stop watching it.
Yeah,
On it like on the
it's
week.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
It is the most bingeable show that I've ever watched, and there's no reason why they should have shortened the number of episodes.
I agree
I'm
with
still
that
mad right
100%. And then real quick, Prime Video, they obviously Mrs. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is
now.
ending.
Yay! I know,
Um,
I don't, but I
don't want
love.
it to end.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't want it to end either. But it's it's taken forever in between these seasons to get the new episodes up or the new seasons up.
But we are having a new season of it.
The fifth season will air this year.
Okay,
It is
yeah,
what
that's probably the only problem with that show. I mean, they wait forever between seasons.
yeah, and that you kind of lose. I won't say lose interest because we still have it, but then we have to go back and rewatch some things in order to catch up to see where we're at when they bring the season, the new season into play. And
Yeah,
that's just a waste of time. You should give it to us when we need it,
and
not
that that's also very very bingeable. That's a very bingeable show.
And they did cancel. Prime did cancel Paper Girls,
Why?
and why
They
exactly?
they gave it a shot, and it was so good, and then they just that's it.
And they canceled Night Sky, which you weren't watching, but I was. And it was about this couple that had a portal in their basement that literally would transport them to different worlds.
That
And they just
was Sissy,
happened to discover it, and it was fascinating.
that was Sissy Spacek and
The insurance guy, farmers insurance guy.
guy who also has won an Oscar.
He's won
But
several Oscars, a couple of them. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Um,
yeah, I never got into that one, but
I,
yeah.
I'm going to run this list down real quick because we're running close to an hour now and a little long. Other things that are closing in 2023 are Killing Eve on BBC America, Carnival Row on Prime Video, Last Kingdom on Netflix, which I've gotten into with you. I think is a brilliant
It's
display of
so good.
historical. Yeah. The
Oh,
Crown, what you knew about.
mhm.
Firefly Lane is ending on Netflix. The Flash is ending on CW. The Handmaid's Tale Hunters is ending, which I didn't realize it was a third season on Hunters because they haven't done a really good job about promoting that. I thought it ended when we saw it, but this season is going to the last season is running at the first part of this year.
Well, we're gonna have to watch part of the last season because
Yeah,
I've lost
again,
track.
it's
But
been so damn long.
I love
Um,
the show.
on Hunters, Manifest, we're catching up on Manifest now. They with Netflix gave it a two they call it a two season. It's just one last final season, but it's cut. It's cut. So they cut it in half. And now part one of the season, part two of the season. So they're going to wrap everything up on there, which we're grateful that they did that.
Another
Mel-
binge for everybody. Manifest.
is
Very bingeable.
Manifest.
Yeah.
Million Little Things is ending. NCIS Los Angeles. I just heard about this yesterday. Unfortunately, after 14 seasons, they're ending. They right in right now, basically, and they're halfway through this season. They come up and said, "Well, we're ending it with this season," and
I, I I'm gonna be sad about it, but I understand it. It's been 14 seasons.
well, but it still had life in it. I think, in my
I'm,
opinion.
I'm still gonna miss it. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss it. The season finale is going to end in or air in May.
Mhm.
Um, Prime Video is Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I love that program. There are a huge number of individuals following this program, and we are, trying to save it as well. Um, I've never seen. I'm a Jack Ryan fan from the first Jack Ryan, all the way Tom Clancy Jack Ryan, which was The Hunt for Red October. It had a Baldwin that was in it, and then from there it went to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford. It went to uh, John Krasinski. And as far as I'm concerned, John Krasinski is it. I mean, fantastic job, John Krasinski. If you're listening or watching, you have brought this character to life in such a manner that it's on the edge of your seat. Episode, every episode, you heart is racing. You're sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what's going to happen next. You guys have done a brilliant job of carrying Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, forward in such a way that everybody wants more than
Mhm.
4 seasons. Thank you very much. But it's going to end on its fourth season, which will run this year.
Do you think
Um,
John Krasinski thing? Do you think he wanted to end it, or
no, he actually was very, he loved the role. He really loved the role. It gave him freedom. You know, there was a lot of freedom involved in him being able to portray this individual in such a way that we were able to connect with it more so than in the beginning with Jack Ryan, where Jack Ryan was just more of an analyst and just got caught up in things. This Jack Ryan is somebody that's very proactive, and it really goes in depth with his character, where he was a Marine. And he suffered some PTSD with being the last member of his team that was alive when they were out on a mission, and but the CIA pulled him in, and when the CIA pulled him in, they promised him this analyst job, and then it escalates him to the field, and he travels. Oh, it's just amazing. You have to watch. You have to watch John Clancy's Jack Ryan if you love intrigue, espionage, um, CIA intrigue, spies, you
oh,
name it.
what
It's in it.
was it? Was it in the top shows for
It is in
Prime?
the top shows on Prime. Yes, it's
So
one of the
Netflix is canceling some of their top 10. Prime's doing the same thing.
Prime's doing the same thing, and they really shouldn't have done it. I think that I think it's a mistake. I think that they're going to realize it's a mistake somewhere down the road, and I doubt that you can let it go and then bring it back after you let it. Well, I mean, unless you bring it back like they did with Magnum, where you're kind of going, okay, well, we are going to bring this back. Thank you, you guys did save it, so we'll have this, but it's going to take time for us to kind of incorporate everything because when you take it to another level, or if you don't do it yourself, like Prime Video doesn't do it and somebody else picks them up, then of course they have to negotiate having all of those assets transferred and everything with it to keep the show consistent. But yeah, so I know it's been an hour, guys and girls. It has been like fantastic being able to talk about all these programs and the ones that we love, the ones that we really hate. Again, I'll make sure that there's a list for everybody to look at. So in case you don't know, we don't really want to be the bad news deliverer if you don't know that your show's been canceled.
All right,
But at least the way you could be prepared and or fight for it. Um,
right.
remember that if you're a fan of any of these shows that still have a survivability rate, I would seek out and go onto Google and see if you can find uh, the petitions and the campaigns that are trying to save them, like
And
Warrior Nun, like
if
Legacies.
if there isn't any petitions going on,
Start one.
start. Mhm.
And then get a hold of me at Michael at one more thing before you go.com. Michael at one more thing before you go.com. I'll bring you on the show. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So, anything I missed, Diane? Anything we missed?
No, I think we covered it. Mm,
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here on your Sunday, sharing your day with us. I'm sorry this one ran a little bit long, but we kind of got um, involved. I've still got a little bit of a sore throat and some congestion in my lungs, which are starting to show up again as I'm talking here. So you guys probably hear me getting hoarse. So I am getting better. I should be back to normal on Wednesday. Please make sure that you subscribe and you follow us. Check us out on YouTube. One more thing before you go podcast is on YouTube. It's youtube.com at the at sign. One more thing before you go. And you can expect all this programming to be on there as well if you're not already here. And I look forward to seeing you and hearing you in the next episode on Wednesday. We got a lot of things coming up, Diane.
we do.
We have some psychics coming on. We have some people about near death experiences coming on again. I've got some people that have were saved, basically contribute their lives being saved by a spirit of a relative that showed up at the right time. We're going to talk about witches, and we're going to talk about the possibility of what's on the other side. We've got some more conversations about some unidentified flying objects and what may exist. So,
Cool. Cool.
looking forward to it.
Yep.
Thank you very much, everybody. We really appreciate you listening and joining with us. We love to have your feedback and look forward to talking to you again. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Happy Sunday. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.